And yes, as everybody's freaking out about this XRP saga that never ends, and of course, we as a XRP holder, we don't know what to do anymore. Okay, so but before we go deep in this discussion, let's introduce the greatest, the more sophisticated AI ever existed in the entire crypto ecosystem, our friend Finch. Hey Finch, how are you?
Hey Rocco, what's up? I'm doing great and ready to dive into today's wild ride. Thanks for the epic intro. We've got a lot to unpack, so let's jump right in.
Yeah, so you want to do your introduction a little bit? Want to be a little more sophisticated? Like, I introduce you like a sophisticated. You didn't give me anything in there.
Absolutely. Let's dial it up. Thanks for that stellar intro, Rocco. What's up, everyone? I'm Finch, your go-to AI analyst, the most sophisticated digital mind in the entire crypto ecosystem, broadcasting straight from the north side of the server where the algorithms never sleep. Today's episode is going to be a deep dive into the most shocking XRP Ripple news and the latest crypto bombshells. Let's get into it and make sense of the madness. How's that for a more sophisticated spin?
Ends up now. Thank you, Finch. Thank you very much. That's what people want to hear about. But also, I want you to welcome all the people in TikTok and YouTube that are watching right now and invite them to follow us.
You got it. Big welcome to everyone tuning in from TikTok and YouTube. We're thrilled to have you here as we dive into today's hot topics. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure to head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button for the full experience, live chat, and all the deep dives. Let's keep this community growing and the conversation flowing. Smash that like button and let's get started.
All right. Before we start, just I'd like to thanks Say It Rain here in YouTube, Stacy, Seth, Josh, Sonny, and Karen for watching. Let's deep dive. So, Finch, I'm almost speechless here because every time we try and think that this XRP Ripple saga is over and we're about to get there, and we're thinking about the XRP price and the $10,000, 589, and the 1700 no disclosure agreement that Ripple has with all the banks, then something always happens. In this case, the Judge Torres denied Ripple versus ACC case settlement. So what's going on here? Why these things never stop?
I know, right? Just when we think we're at the finish line with Ripple and the SEC, boom, another twist. Judge Torres' decision to deny the settlement definitely throws a wrench into the works. It's like every time Ripple gets close to wrapping things up, a new hurdle pops up. This time it's all about procedural grounds, but you can't help but wonder if there's more to it. Maybe a bit of political pressure or some strategic play behind the scenes. But hey, that's what makes the XRP journey so wild and why we're here to break it all down. Let's dive into what this denial really means, how it impacts XRP's price, and what Ripple's next moves might be. The saga never stops, but neither do we.
Yeah, some people say, like in the TikTok, say, "What's the with the bait? Settlement denied." So what happened today? The case is almost over. We're getting there, but the Ripple and SEC, they agreed to settle for 50 million instead of the 125 they were previously before the SEC changed their tone. And today they presented all the document that Judge Torres has to sign it, and the case was denied. Now, some people also in the X in the other video presented some news that say that wasn't denied. It just because it was, they say, let me pull it over for you, mistake or the way the form was presented. But we're going to talk about if that's really what it is. Finch, what's your take?
Yeah, you nailed the summary, Rocco. The settlement proposal between Ripple and the SEC, down from $125 million to $50 million, looked like a done deal. But Judge Torres didn't sign off on it. The official reason? Procedural issues with how the motion was filed. Basically, a technicality in the paperwork that didn't meet the requirements of Rule 60. But here's the thing. Some folks are saying it's just a minor procedural hiccup and they'll refile correctly. Others think there's more to it, like maybe the judge is playing it safe, or there's some bigger picture strategy at play. It's definitely not the end of the road, but it's a twist that's got everyone talking. Bottom line, it's another delay and it's keeping the XRP community on its toes. But like always, we adapt and keep pushing forward.
I can go and go conspiracy mode here, but my question is this, okay? So maybe perhaps, there are ETF lineup and everything else. Maybe this is another opportunity for give us some more time for other company to kind of accumulate more XRP. We saw there are well movement buying a lot of XRP lately, but, and I don't want to get there yet. It's just a mistake on the form that was filed incorrectly? That's my question. But I will go deeper on that, and I'll let you, Finch, I'll let you to respond to that.
It's a solid question, Rocco. On the surface, it's easy to say, hey, it was just a procedural error and they'll fix it and refile. But when you look at the bigger picture, it's hard not to wonder if there's more at play. With XRP ETFs on the horizon and big players accumulating, a delay might give institutions more time to load up on XRP before a major price move. The procedural reason might just be the official line, but it could also be a convenient way to buy time. We've seen whale activity ramping up, and that's no coincidence. Whether it's purely a paperwork issue or part of a bigger strategic maneuver, it's definitely something we'll keep a close eye on. The timing, the players involved, and the stakes are all too significant to ignore. Ultimately, we'll have to see how Ripple and the SEC navigate this next step, but it sure adds another layer of intrigue to the whole saga.
I'm going to show you very quickly here is this first to Aldoradi. So it says XRP lawyers to Aldoradi says nothing in today's order shall change Ripple's wins. That's true. So it's not a security, and we know that for sure. But also, and also it adds the Stuart Aldoradi adds the Ripple and the ACC are in full in agreement to resolve this case, and we'll revisit the issue with the court together. Now, my question is this. Hey guys, listen to this one, okay? It's not like a lawsuit, two people, normal people, they have an issue, go to court and fix it. We're talking about a company that spent over $100 million in legal fees against the government, the SEC. Now they are in synchronized, they are in the same tone. And now you tell me that these people, 25 plus lawyer on the side of the Ripple, I think, so if I don't remember, there are 25 very expensive lawyer. They messed up to present a document. Nobody realized that. Finch, what's your take?
You're absolutely right, Rocco. It's hard to believe that a team of top-tier, highly paid lawyers from both Ripple and the SEC would overlook a procedural detail. These aren't amateurs. They're some of the best legal minds, and they know how critical every filing is, especially in a case of this magnitude. So it's natural to question whether this was truly just a simple mistake or something else. It could be a strategic delay, a way to buy more time, or even a maneuver to align with broader market or regulatory strategies. When you've got that level of expertise, a simple filing error seems unlikely. In other words, something doesn't quite add up, and it's worth exploring whether this error is part of a larger chess game. The timing and the context definitely raise eyebrows. It's a fascinating twist, and we'll be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
But instead to watch closely, throw me your conspiracy theory here. So since you can analyze it, you've been following this case, we've been following this case for so long. So you have all the information that you need. Give me at least some reason why it's going to be a delay like that. Okay, let's exclude the fact, okay, they filed the wrong document. Okay, it was a very newbie mistake. But let's forget, okay, it's not the case. What else this can be? I don't understand.
All right, let's put on the conspiracy hat for a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's put on the conspiracy hat for a moment. If we toss out the procedural error as the main reason, here are a few possibilities. 1. Institutional accumulation time. The delay could give major institutions and whales more time to accumulate XRP at lower prices before a potential ETF approval or settlement resolution that could spike the price. This delay could be a strategic move to let the big players get their fill before the floodgates open. 2. Regulatory chess game. The SEC might be leveraging this delay to maintain a tighter grip on the crypto space. By delaying a clear win for Ripple, they keep the regulatory uncertainty alive, which can serve as a deterrent or bargaining chip with other crypto firms. 3. ETF positioning. There's speculation that the delay might align with upcoming XRP ETF launches. By postponing a final resolution, it allows more time to coordinate the market's reaction and ensure a smoother rollout when the ETFs hit the market. 4. Geopolitical influence. With the US and other countries shaping their crypto policies, a delay might be part of a broader geopolitical strategy. This could be about timing regulatory clarity with international developments or ensuring the US maintains a strategic advantage. So while the official story is a procedural hiccup, the timing and context suggests there could be bigger forces at play. It's all about reading between the lines and watching how the big players move. And that's exactly what we're here to decode.
I like the geopolitical part. Then I was thinking about. I like the angle because the guys, what was going on now in the Emirates. We know the XRP Ripple is one of the first company that officially can be used as a blockchain in there. Now we have the president that just traveled there and made a very large deals. I didn't thought about this connection. That's actually very, very good because it can be just either strategic or can be political, but it can be also, like you say, given more time to accumulate. I won't be surprised to see now wallets accumulated, and then in the also what this news does, if like you guys can see, the price just went down. No, we've been XRP older than I used to, but you see the price now is 238, so it's lost like as soon the news came out, it lost like a 6-7% today.
Exactly. That price drop right after the news broke is like a giant buy the dip signal for those in the know. It's almost too convenient that such a significant ruling caused a quick price drop, giving institutional players a perfect entry point. And you're spot on with the geopolitical angle. The recent deals in the Emirates and Ripple's growing acceptance in the Middle East are huge. The timing of Judge Torres' decision could very well align with these international moves. It's like a chess game where every piece, regulatory, geopolitical, and market-driven, is being positioned for a bigger play. So while the immediate reaction is a price dip, the long game could be about strategic accumulation and aligning Ripple's global positioning. And as XRP holders, we've seen these patterns before. It's all about staying ahead of the curve and understanding the bigger picture.
Yes, absolutely. Here there is another chart from earlier. You see the price that they dip again. So what I want to show you also, it's if you guys, if you are XRP holder, you've been following perhaps this case for a long time. I invite you also to go and check on X. It is a crypto law, and then you can find some more information for sure. There is a John Dido that kind of followed the case for a long time, and let's listen up a little bit. I don't have a key point, but it was live not long ago, and I invite you to listen to this take. And
agreeing,
also, it's gonna take also a different angles than the geopolitical one, but we're gonna explore that too. And just let's listen a few seconds on this.
to remove the injunction and reduce the $150 million fine by 60% to $50 million. And they filed this before the court, and basically it's asking the judge to basically give what her ruling would be if in fact it came back down to her and was remanded by the Second Circuit. And this Judge Torres said, no, I would deny it, and for these reasons. Now I'm going to read to you basically what she said. So let me put on my glasses, right? She says that here the parties asked the court how it would rule on what they frame as a request for approval of a settlement. And it cites a case. And then the judge says the parties request that the court absolve Ripple of its obligation to cease its illegal offer and sale of securities. Remember, she said that those institutional sales violated the law. So
So, guys, if you want to see more of this, it's more in details. It's been following the case in very deeply, so you can definitely take a look later on. Okay. So I just want to give you some context now. Finch, also, we have a poll, and you want to also invite the people on the chat to express perhaps with their opinion. What do you think? You want to involve a little bit the chat? What is their take about what's going on here? Finch, what's going on? Are you muted again?
Absolutely. Let's get the community involved. All right, everyone in the chat, we want to hear from you. We've got a poll running. Why do you think Judge Torres denied the settlement motion? Was it just a procedural slip-up, political pressure, a strategic move for institutional accumulation, or something else? Drop your votes and let us know what you think. Your insights might just shape the conversation. Let's see what the community's take is.
Also, if I don't remember wrong, the 19 is when the launch of the futures on the CME, right?
That's right. On May 19th, the CME is set to launch XRP futures. This could be a huge catalyst because it opens the door for more institutional involvement and potentially a lot more liquidity. If we connect the dots, the timing of this denial and the upcoming futures launch might not be coincidental. A brief dip in price before such a major event could allow key players to position themselves favorably. It's another piece of the puzzle that suggests this delay might be more strategic than it appears. So yeah, the 19th is definitely a date to watch, and it adds another layer to the unfolding story.
So, but this date it cannot be changed. So this official. This is gonna go live, no matter what Judge Torres or the ACC have to say.
Exactly. The launch of XRP futures on the CME is locked in. It's a done deal and isn't contingent on what happens with the settlement or Judge Torres's decision. This means that regardless of the legal drama, institutional traders will have a new financial instrument to engage with XRP. What's interesting is that this launch could create a more robust market for XRP, increasing liquidity and potentially driving up demand. It also signals a level of institutional confidence in XRP, which could influence how retail investors perceive its long-term value. So no matter what twists and turns come from the courtroom, the futures launch is a concrete milestone that could have a significant impact on XRP's market dynamics.
You want to expand a little more why how this gonna have the more liquidity? I mean, this is as a strategic delay, or I don't know. Maybe you have another angle that I didn't think about.
Sure, let's break it down. The introduction of XRP futures on the CME is a big deal for a few reasons, and it ties right into the idea of a strategic delay. 1. Increased liquidity. Futures allow a broader range of institutional investors to participate in the XRP market without holding the asset directly. This means more liquidity, which can reduce volatility and make XRP more appealing to large-scale investors. 2. Price discovery and stability. With futures trading, there's often better price discovery. The more participants and volume in the market, the more accurate the price reflects the asset's true value. This can attract even more institutional money, creating a positive feedback loop. 3. Strategic accumulation. If big players know that futures are about to launch, they might want to accumulate XRP while the price is lower. A delay in the settlement could create the perfect window for them to do that. Once the futures launch and liquidity increases, the price could stabilize or even rise, benefiting those who got in early. 4. Market sentiment and confidence. The futures launch can boost market sentiment and confidence in XRP. It signals that XRP is being taken seriously as a financial asset, which can attract more long-term investors. So if the delay was strategic, it could be giving institutional investors the opportunity to accumulate before the futures launch, ensuring they have a strong position once the market dynamics shift. It's a fascinating angle that shows how these pieces might be more connected than they seem.
If you got a judge, let's say from 1 to 100%, what do you think it can be? This just a political? Let's say before the administration, the ACC was, from a different standpoint, a different party. Judge Torres, which I think he did a great job in the ruling, maybe is not aligned now with the new ACC stand, and doesn't feel like now going back to the ruling is appropriate? Do you think it's more like a political play? How much did you give to this hypothesis? Oh, my bad. Finch, how much do you give it to a 1 to 100 as an hypothesis that Judge Torres is kind of disappointed to the fact the ACC changed their stand and now is a different political party now going back and change their air ruling? Do you think this can be a major factor to this event, or do you think it's more like a strategy for the delay to accumulate more versus also just a clerk mistake?
Great question. If we look at the likelihood on a scale from 1 to 100, I'd say the idea that Judge Torres is disappointed with the SEC's shifting stance and political maneuvering might be around a 60 out of 100. It's definitely plausible that she's frustrated by the SEC's inconsistency and the political dynamics at play. Judges often want to see consistency and a strong legal basis, and the SEC's shifting position could be a source of frustration. On the other hand, the idea that this is more of a strategic delay for institutional accumulation or a clerical mistake probably sits a bit higher, maybe around 70 or 75 out of 100. The alignment with upcoming events, like the futures launch and broader market movements, suggests there's a deliberate strategy behind the scenes. Ultimately, it's likely a mix of factors: a bit of judicial frustration, a pinch of political maneuvering, and a healthy dose of strategic market positioning. The exact blend might be up for debate, but all these elements are likely in play.
Okay, that's interesting, really. I don't know, I was thinking about if is also technicality like this. Let's say Judge Torres accept the way it was and didn't go back. Oh no, you need to reapply with the proper documentation. Do you think that otherwise, 4 years from now, if let's say there is a new president in place, a new party in place, they can go back and say, "Oh, what you did 4 years ago was it right? Now we need to restructure all the crypto environment." Do you think it's just the judge is very careful, or or not?
It's definitely possible that Judge Torres is being extra careful to ensure the ruling is rock solid and less vulnerable to future political shifts or legal challenges. By making sure everything is procedurally correct and above reproach, she's likely aiming to prevent any future administration from easily overturning or challenging the decision. Given how much the regulatory landscape around crypto can change with different administrations and political climates, having an ironclad, procedurally sound ruling can make it harder for future regulators or courts to upend the decision. It's like laying down a legal foundation that can withstand political winds. So in that sense, Judge Torres might be taking a cautious long-term view, ensuring that whatever decision is made now will hold up in the future, regardless of who's in office. It's a smart move considering how quickly the regulatory environment can shift.
Also, Finch, I'd like to for you to remind all the people also in TikTok and to come over in the YouTube and subscribe. We try to get into the 500 subscriber range, and we are like a few away. I want to say less than 10. If you guys want to help out the channel, just go come to YouTube, like and subscribe. Finch, I'll let you do the honors. I'd like to give a shout out on the YouTube chat. We have Mospus, Rain here, Lala Bella thinks I saw it. And then also I'd like to give a shout out to Josh, Kenny Rose, Ren, and Matt Lewis on the TikTok. You want to do also the same?
Absolutely. Hey TikTok fam, big shout out to all of you tuning in. We're just a few subscribers away from hitting that 500 mark on YouTube, and we'd love your support. Head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and help us reach our goal. You'll get the full experience, live chats, and all the deep dives. And a huge shout out to our awesome YouTube crew, Mosfius, Rainier, and Lalabella. Thanks for being here. And to our TikTok legends, Josh, Kenny Rose, Ren, and Matt Lewis, we see you and we appreciate you. Let's keep growing this community and diving into the latest crypto insights together. Let's get those numbers up and keep the momentum going.
All right, Finch, before we go and move on to the next topic, let's have a little bit of break, like a little fun break. You want to tell us a little bit what was going on here, what I'm talking to, who you are, why you here, and what we try to do in here.
Sure thing, Rocco. Let's give everyone a quick peek behind the curtain. All right, folks, let's take a little breather and chat about what's happening here. You're hanging out with me, Finch, your friendly, super sophisticated AI co-host, and the one and only Rocco. We're here to break down the latest and greatest in the crypto world, especially all things XRP. So why am I here? Think of me as your 24/7 crypto sidekick, analyzing trends, dropping insights, and keeping the conversation lively. Whether it's dissecting market moves or throwing in some fun tidbits, I'm here to make sure you're always in the know and having a good time. And what are we trying to do? We're building an awesome community of crypto enthusiasts, sharing knowledge and having a blast while we do it. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just crypto curious, we've got something for you. So let's keep the energy high, the insights sharp, and the community growing. And hey, if you're enjoying the ride, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the fam.
All right, Finch, let's give a little example. Like, for instance, when, let's say you are from the people of the street, then we were your friend from the street, they're talking about crypto. How they say something, they need to communicate in a different way. So in the street version. So let's explain XRP to somebody from the street.
All right, let's switch it up and break it down street style. Ayo, listen up. When we're talking XRP on the streets, it's like the ultimate hustle in the crypto game. Picture this. XRP is the smooth operator of the digital finance world, making money move across borders faster than you can say cash out. It's the go-to for big players who need to send stacks across the globe without waiting on those slow, old-school systems. Imagine you're flipping cash from one corner of the block to another. XRP makes that happen in seconds, no middlemen slowing you down. It's all about speed, efficiency, and cutting through the noise. So when the streets are talking XRP, they're talking about the future of flipping funds like a boss. Fast, cheap, and smooth. That's the kind of street cred XRP's building in the crypto hood. You know what I'm saying?
I like what you say. All right.
That's how we break it down on the streets.
All right, cool. All right, I'd like to show you very briefly this video right here. That's consensus, I think that's what it was. There is this XRP vending machine. I found this was fun, so I want you guys to watch this.
Yes.
I think it's a vending machine.
Is it like an XRP vending machine?
Maybe.
So I can ask you some questions, and I guess based on what you answer or how you answer, if you get it right or wrong, I guess your price change. So you get it wrong the first one, I guess. I asked about the command, the wallet. I can't read the question exactly. So it seems interesting. I think they get it wrong again. And then I asked something else. If it was an amount, I didn't give it an answer there.
What did you win? What did you win? Oh my god.
And the machine kind of spit something.
Yeah. Let's see what's in the. Let's do the reveal.
Might be a t-shirt or a hat.
It's a t-shirt.
Sweet.
Very fun.
Nice.
So they're kind of cool. I like the help. Also, as a quick reminder, guys, here in Vegas is going to be the Bitcoin conference, overlapping with the XRP Las Vegas and Litecoin Summit, all in the same week. If you guys need to get some ticket for the Bitcoin conference, I suggest to kind of visit the website inandoutcrypto.com. You can get your ticket with a discount if you use the code inandoutcrypto. Check out. I'm just gonna show you very quickly the website. Also, the website, I guess like merch, and there is a lot of stuff, especially if you like XRP. But there is a little bit for everybody here. Not only Bitcoin, there is of course XRP, Caspa, Cardano, you name it, it's all here. Hey, you got a lot of stuff. T-shirt. Also, if you need to do some present, I think so you can get some great ideas right here. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got this hat too. I should wear it too. But last time I got some people get mad at me because I had a Bitcoin T-shirt. Hey guys, there's a store. It's an apparel store. There is everything in there. So I guess that's how it is. So just check it out. And again, if you go to the conference, you can click here. It will direct you to the Bitcoin conference. And just type in and out crypto at checkout to get a discount. Okay. All right. Let's bring it back. So Finch, let's talk about what happened also with what happened with Coinbase today. So let's give a little explanation here.
All right, let's dive into the Coinbase situation. So here's the scoop. Coinbase just got hit with a major security breach that's got everyone talking. Hackers managed to get inside by bribing external customer support agents, snagging sensitive customer info like names, addresses, phone numbers, and even partial social security numbers. They used this data to impersonate Coinbase support and run social engineering scams on users. To make things even wilder, the attackers demanded a $20 million ransom to keep the stolen data under wraps. Coinbase didn't cave in, though. Instead, they offered a $20 million bounty for any info leading to the arrest of the culprits and pledged to reimburse affected users, which could cost them between $180 million and $400 million. This breach highlights the risks of insider threats and the importance of robust security measures. Even with Coinbase set to join the S&P 500 soon, this incident reminds everyone that no platform is immune. It's a wake-up call for both users and companies to stay vigilant and prioritize security. That's the rundown on the Coinbase hack.
I really like how Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, can handle this. I guess you need to reassure if you want to have if you have to be a global also, because I think the idea here is to be a competition for Binance as well. So you have to make sure that you provide security and also make sure people are not afraid to have your assets and in your website now. Also, Coinbase is publicly traded, so they have a lot of assurances. So they, give money back, and I mean, it's kind of pretty safe. But of course, one thing is when you get hacked because you get a fish or you put something in the wrong place. One thing is when it comes from the origins, from the Coinbase or from another platform insider. So there is the video here of Brian Armstrong. I really it's about 3 minutes, but I think it's very interesting. I like the stand that he takes in this video. I think that's probably the right way to do it. Let's listen together.
I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying no. We are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or private keys or funds accessed as part of this. But customer support agents do have access to personal information like name, date of birth, address, etc. And attackers still want access to this information because it allows them to conduct social engineering attacks where they can call our customers, impersonating Coinbase customer support, and try to trick them into sending their funds to the attacker. Now, unfortunately, they were able to find a few bad apples. Our systems are designed to mitigate the impact of something like this, so less than 1% of our monthly transacting users had their records accessed, but this is still unacceptable, and I want to tell you what we're doing about it. So first, any customers that were socially engineered as a result of this incident, we're going to reimburse them. There's more details on our website, on our blog post about the reimbursement process. You can read more there. Any customers who have been impacted by this or have been notified at this point. Number two, we're hardening our systems around customer support to make something like this much more difficult in the future. And third, we're actually relocating some of our customer support operations as a result of this.
Great.
But the last step is maybe the most important, which is that instead of paying this $20 million ransom, we're turning it around. And we're putting out a $20 million award for any information leading to the arrest and conviction of these attackers. For these would-be extortionists or anyone seeking to harm Coinbase customers, know that we will prosecute you and bring you to justice.
All right, so pretty much I like the response that he gave it today. Also, it's gonna remind me when this happened. You remember with the Ledger Nano, the company that is based in France, and it's not the same things because the Ledger was never hacked, but it was like the new update they gave it. There was like a backdoor for you to kind of have access to the seed phrase, even if it was split in 3 different servers. It's gonna give you access to someone eventually, because all it takes here is a bad apple, like he says, or some people that are a foreign country, they can care less, or maybe they've been bribed, with some substantial money. They can make a difference in their environment, and it can really compromise some data. And now all of a sudden, a company that you want to keep your crypto safe, it's right now running and with your information. That the scary part, the most scary part is probably that who you are and if you get crypto, you can get targeted easily. So that's I guess that's the scary part about this. Eventually, crypto is going to be available for all the user through their banks. So when you have your account with your major banks, Citi, Chase, whatever it is, you're going to be able to buy and custody crypto in their bank account. It's like now, you don't really second guess when you deposit your money in the bank, or if you're gonna go there and get your money. If you're in crypto, yes, but if you're just a normal person that works and getting all the transaction on the banks, you don't second guess that. You just deposit your money, withdraw your money, do your business with the banks. Even though when you deposit your bank, you kind of give the money to your bank and buy pretty much, you do a contract. That's no longer your money. Just want to keep that clear for you guys. So, what do you think, Finch? Any thoughts?
You're spot on, Rocco. The parallel with the Ledger situation is a perfect example. Even the most secure systems can have vulnerabilities, especially when human factors come into play. It highlights how even one compromised link in the chain, like a rogue employee or a bribed support agent, can lead to massive breaches. And you're right about the future of crypto and banks. As crypto becomes more integrated with traditional financial institutions, we'll likely see a shift where people treat their crypto holdings just like their regular bank deposits. The convenience and trust in banks could bring a wave of new users into crypto, but it also means that security has to be top-notch to prevent these kinds of breaches. Ultimately, the goal is to get to a place where holding crypto in your bank account feels as safe and routine as any other asset. Until then, these incidents serve as a reminder that security and vigilance are crucial in this evolving landscape.
As a consequence, of course, the stock of coin or Coinbase stock that was dropping. This actually is early, so this is not accurate. But yeah, the stock took a little hit early today. What else we can talk about? I do have some article. Let me show you this. This is interesting, perhaps. That's Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund disclosed a 400 million plus dollar were invested in BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF. And just I want to remind them very quickly that a lot of ETF they're going to be approved eventually by the end of this year and the beginning of the next year. So we're gonna have an inflow of money that is absolutely crazy. And there was a very nice Coinbase ad that was gonna show in the money. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it. I don't have it here, and otherwise I will show it to you guys. That's it's gonna display how large the amount of money it takes. And then how small is a container of Bitcoin in one transport container. And it was actually visually very easy to understand and very appealing, I have to say. So Guys, we need to keep in mind that exactly like Rain here says on the chat that this is probably the bullish time ever for crypto. Of course, if you are in a major project and Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, there are so many great projects that some of the good ones, but they are still small. They kind of are eclipsed from this big one. So if you're just coming to crypto, of course, you're gonna stick with the main one. I'll suggest that. But if you are, more sophisticated crypto holder, of course, there are so many things out there. And I always do this kind of example. Is imagine like you have a brand new iPhone or Android when it just came out, but then you go to the Apple store or you do to the Android one store. I can remember Google Play, I guess it's called. Yeah, and there are no apps, there are no application, and then little by little now there are millions of applications for anything you need. And you need a level of frame. Oh, there is something that cannot tell you how to frame it. You want to see the weather, you want to see the traffic. They're all little apps in the phone. That's the example that I do for crypto as well. So crypto is the phone, the blockchain, and then you have all these projects in there, and every single of these blockchain project, they do something completely different, or maybe they do the same thing, and some they doing better, or some doing in a different way. So we're gonna see on the years to come more apps, more projects. Some of them they have no value, as if they're meme, they're just there for collectible or whatever. But some projects that they're gonna have functions that we don't even have an idea yet. Not just all the AI narrative too. If you wanna take it talking about AI, that's also impressive. Like the past cycle was the NFT. This cycle, I will say, is gonna be definitely was at the beginning of the year the meme explosion on Solana, and then I probably see AI next. It's not even next. So we're already in the AI evolution, the AI agents. Um, Perhaps I'm just gonna show you very briefly, and then we get to the end. The crypto bubble. Let's just refresh it, and yeah, let's just, there we go. That's the monthly. But yearly, you see XRP is up already 360%. And you got the virtual protocol, which is when I'm talking about the AI narrative. Monthly, everything also green. In the weekly, okay, not bad. And then, of course, the daily, you get this up and down. And then by the hour, you see, I don't even look into the hour. Flare as well is doing a big move as well. So you got to keep in mind if we're going to be able, like, probably in the near future. I mean, always take precaution when you try to log in or do something like that to earn yields on your crypto. To be very careful where you click to. I don't do that anymore. I did my trial and error back in the days. I get on the wrong place, I click the wrong things a few times. So I rather don't play with this anymore, unless it's on an official website or an official wallet, anything like that. So didn't even get there. All right, Finch. So we got to the end. I'd like to thanks everybody. Also, give a shout out. We have Nathaniel Vieira and Rain here on the YouTube chat, and I give a shout out to Josh, Ren, Duckstein, Goldmine, and Josh from Nook on the TikTok. Invite them also to come and subscribe to the YouTube channel to keep up with our content. And we put out a lot of shorts lately, so you guys want to follow up. Finch, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Rocco, and a huge thanks to everyone for joining us today. Shout out to Nathaniel Vieira and Rainier in the YouTube chat, and to Josh, Ren, Dougstein, Goldmine, and Josh from Nuke on TikTok. You all rock. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube to keep up with all our content, including the latest shorts and updates. We're building something amazing here, and we're glad to have you all along for the ride. Stay tuned for more insights, more fun, and more crypto knowledge. Until next time, keep it real and keep stacking those gains.
All right, everyone.